Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. In this very special video, I want to talk about how to do a conversational hypnosis regression. We'll go through all the steps, get a notepad and pen, you can write all these things down and simply apply it with your next client if they need a regression. So have I done regressions in the past? Absolutely, hundreds upon hundreds. What I'm going to do in this video as well is give you some bonuses because the same tactics, strategies, steps, whatever you want to call it, can actually be applied to every other therapeutic technique that you may have been taught in the past. These are things from visualizations to timelines, the regressions, the age regressions, the hallucinations. I'll show you how to complete all of these things in very little steps. And this is by using what we call advanced conversation hypnosis. So again, have I done this before? Absolutely. I've done them with all the clients that I've worked with. I've done the timelines. I've had the hallucinations. I've done the visualizations. So let me show you how I did it and how you can speed up these types of techniques. So if you're new to hypnosis and you're maybe not quite sure or haven't heard of a regression, which is pretty unlikely because it's a common thing that's taught, let's look at the conversation hypnosis regression. Just on the basics, we're all on the same page. A regression hypnosis is a therapeutic technique that uses hypnosis to help individual access and explore past experiences, potentially including those from childhood or even past lives. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now, the common way to do this is usually like a script or it's like a five-step process. Let me show you how to do the conversation hypnosis regression. And as I mentioned before, let me also give you the bonus how to for things like timelines, visualizations, hallucinations, relaxation and deepeners, etc., etc. So any therapeutic technique that you're using, it could be an Ericksonian technique, could be any of those things. I can't think of any more off the top of my head. All of these steps I'm going to give you for the conversation hypnosis regression can be applied to these things too, and you can truly master these things in a very quick fashion. So let's get into it. The how-to, guys, get your notepad and pen. Let's go through these step by step. Very, very simple. The first point is of most importance. Wait for it to happen naturally. I cannot stress this enough. So again, have I done regressions before? Absolutely. Have I done timelines? Absolutely. Have I done the hallucinations, the relaxations deep? Absolutely. Have I ever been taught formally how to do those things? Absolutely not. Why? Because you do not need them, and I did not need them. So waiting for things to happen naturally, what we're doing in terms of conversation, no, so advanced conversation, this is the therapeutic part. You better believe, on a very basic level, you better believe that a client's unconscious mind is way more intelligent than you. It created the problem, and we all know this, and we all say this, the unconscious mind has the solution, which it absolutely does. So if that's the case, why would we think that applying what is a very conscious technique, because it's you consciously informing the client, why would creating a conscious technique and telling the client what to do solve what is an unconscious problem? Now, this also goes back to the very start. If you think, well, I plan these things out, all my clients need a regression, all my clients have to have a timeline. Think about the way you're framing that. When you go into a session steering these things towards a technique, what are you now doing? You are now forcing a client. You are now fixing a symptom. You will not know what technique, what strategy to use until your client tells you what their real problem is. And half the time, that might be half an hour through the session. So I cannot stress this enough. Preparing for these things is an absolute waste of time because you are guessing. The great thing about it, which a lot of people don't understand, is when the unconscious mind reveals the real root cause, what we call the unconscious payoff. It will start to collapse and formulate a technique to destroy that thing if there is some sort of therapeutic intervention. If the unconscious mind sees it as, okay, the way we were doing things in the past no longer works, what you're informing me of or possibly showing me, you, the therapist, is that there's another way to do it and I can have my cake and eat it too, which means that we can do things differently. I can let go of the pain, but I can also do it my way. That's that therapeutic intervention. We show our students how to do this with our ACH trainings. So we wait for these things to happen naturally. We have probably well over 45, if not more, live full demos across all of our ACH trainings. That's an incredible amount for every niche that you can think of. No, at any time, we have never taught a timeline, we've never taught a regression, never taught a hallucination. Students come into our trainings having done all these things and learned these things, and then realize, hey, I don't have to do any of these things. I don't have to set it up step by step because I can see it happening naturally. What do I mean by this? 10 times out of 10, if we're doing a live demo with a student, let's say we've got one of the students at the training is the therapist, one is the actual client with a real problem. That's the way we set it up. And I'm sort of the observer coaching the therapist through this, showing them what to do and what to say and what not to say. at points of the therapy, you'll actually see clients, the clients in the session, which are the students, go into a visualization without the student saying anything about it. They'll go into a regression. They'll go into an age regression. We've had age regression, we've had visualization, we've had the timeline, we've had clients hallucinate really crazy stuff, and the student, which is the therapist, has not told that student to do it. And the outcome is tremendous. The breakthrough is incredible. Why? Because that client's unconscious mind took them there. So always say this to the student. If a student wants to go, or a client, sorry, wants to go into regression, let them. Your only job then is to keep them safe. But then the student might come in and say, well, what can you see? What can you hear? What can you feel? And I'll stop them and say, no, 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 no. We don't care about any of that stuff. Shut up, basically, and let the client bake. We call like an oven, put a cake in the oven and let it bake. Let the client do what it's going to do. Their unconscious mind knows exactly what to do. All you're doing is interfering. So anytime there's a therapeutic breakthrough, people often ask, what's my favorite therapeutic technique? Mine personally is shut the hell up. Once a client's in this therapeutic trance, there's a big difference. I've talked about some videos before. A hypnotic trance, which is just relaxation, which does nothing, compared to a therapeutic trance where they're going into trance and doing something. Once they're doing that thing, let them go. Just watch for abreactions, and that is it. When the client comes out, then you can ask them questions about it. This whole thing of a client has to have 3 scenes. Who made that rule up? A lot of these techniques and ideas were made from therapists who were watching people like Erickson, who had his clients fall into these things naturally. And he said this so many times, but people often miss it. They'll see it and say, well, he said 3 scenes, so it has to be 3 scenes. I've seen Erickson do 3 scenes. I've seen him do 1. I've seen him do none. I've seen him up to 10 over several sessions. But we're all fixated into this box thing where it's like, has to be 3. Timeline's the same. Hallucination's the same. Relaxation's the same. Deepeners are all the same. Instead of listening to what he actually said and him saying, client knows best, they'll do what they need to. And that's what I'm basically teaching it here. So anytime a client of mine, a real client, or it's a student client at the time of the ACH training, if they want to go into hallucination, let them. If they need a regression, let them. If they need a timeline, let them. If they need 5 types of techniques all in the space of 10 minutes, let them. And all you need to do is shut up, sit back, watch it unfold, and just make sure they don't fall into an abreaction. So think of the pressure this takes off you to remember all the steps. The big textbooks that I've seen students have, which is just absolute crazy. Reading the scripts, having to worry about, will the visualization work? Or what if my client can't visualize? What if they can't visualize the timeline? What if they see 2 scenes instead of 3? What if they see 10 instead of 3? Whatever it is, you don't have to worry about that. When you do proper therapy, not the hypnosis therapy that most people are taught, I'm talking about real breakthrough therapy, revealing a root cause will start to unpack it. It'll start to collapse it. We say this in our training. Once the conscious mind gets an insight into what is unconscious, it starts to collapse it. The conscious mind is just as important as the unconscious mind in a therapeutic breakthrough. Okay, this whole idea of you've got to get rid of it and keep it away, that's just nonsense, and I've talked about that before. So wait for these things to happen naturally. Sometimes my clients would have all 5 in the one session. Awesome. Sometimes their trance is more them just talking it out to themselves. Awesome. Sometimes my clients are in trance for 2 hours straight, not saying a word. Awesome. As long as they're safe and away from our reactions, we're golden. So guys, wait for this to happen naturally. So it doesn't matter what the technique, remember the technique is just a forced onto the symptom. It's just created in a box, and we know clients can't fit in that box. You never, ever, 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 ever have to learn these things. You never, ever, 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 ever have to remember the steps. All you do need to learn is an abreaction drill, which unfortunately not a lot of people are taught. So it's more focused on the techniques. So guys, let go of those techniques, wait for it to happen naturally. The client's mind will formulate its own technique as it knows best. It could formulate a technique that doesn't even have a name yet, and it doesn't matter. Even when my client comes out of trance, I don't care what they did, what they saw, how they felt, where they went. I just want to know how you're feeling now based on whatever thing you were doing. And that's what it really is. It's a quote unquote, it's a thing. And that's how I say it. Whatever thing you were doing, how do you feel about your problem now? I feel fantastic. Great. I don't need to know what they saw, how old they were, what scenes they saw, what it means to them. I don't have to reframe it because, again, that's me forcing stuff. And that's just conscious fluff. So wait for it to happen naturally, guys. The client's mind will formulate a technique as it knows best. There is no forcing, no guessing on your part as a therapist. It takes the stress off you guys to remember all that stuff because there's a hell of a lot of steps you got to remember. It takes all the stress off you to perform. It takes all the stress off you to know, will this client suit this compared to this? And big mindset shift, guys, we all have to break is when we believe that all problems exist and all problems exist and need that regression. It's all from childhood. It's all from a childhood trauma. It's all from past lives. When you go into a session forcing these things, what are you basically telling the client? I know more than you. And you're not even close, guys. Remember, you have an unconscious mind sitting in front of you. It created the problem. It damn sure knows how to heal it. And the root causes that come out of your client's mouth will have nothing to do with the problem. They are so abstract and so left field, they'll shock you. And these are things that you can't apply a regression to, you can't apply a visualization to, because once they know what it is, it's starting to collapse. The emotions will start to come out. So guys, there we have it. Bit of fun. If you've watched my videos for a long time, you probably knew that's where I was going. But that's how we do it. That's how we do a conversational hypnosis, regression, timeline visualization, etc. Any therapeutic technique can be put through this mindset and lens. Guys, when you're doing the proper therapy, which starts always with the hypnotic interview to explore the problem, and things start to arise, visualizations happen, your client says, maybe I'm feeling something, or I can see my father who passed away. I can see them standing behind you. I actually had a client say that to me one time, a real client, freaked me out. I just went along with it. As long as they were safe and as long as your clients are safe and you know the abreaction drill, you're going to be one of the best therapists in the field. And it's going to be a hell of a lot quicker than what you're doing right now to apply regressions and timelines and the audios and the homework, which is all irrelevant. Okay. Fix the problem in the session. Let your client fix it. You're basically putting them in the room, so to speak, where all these solutions exist. Let them do what they need to do. Do not interrupt. Do not force your opinions or your thoughts on how they should do it, because all you're doing is guessing. All right, guys. Hopefully that was informative. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.